Guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back to Random Lifestyle Vlog. So with the Black Friday like literally around the corner now, I thought it would be nice to do some products reviews, and today I'd like to show you this palette over here, and this is Anastasia Beverly Hills Rose Metals palette, so the newest creation of Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm going to show you the palette, all the swatches, and I'm going to create a makeup look with it so that you can actually see how it applies in real life. So this is what the palette looks like. It's actually really pretty. It has kind of like this old gold kind of a color. It's really pretty. And let me just show you this palette inside. There you go. These are the shades. They are stunning. They just give me this almost like a steampunk kind of vibe. I don't know. I just really love how these shades look. And to be like fully transparent with you guys, I did film that video before and there was something wrong with the file, so I couldn't really post it, so I'm re-recording it. So obviously this is not my first experience with this palette, but it's still quite a new one in my collection. It will be the second time I'll be using it. The first thing I need to mention like straight away, I don't know if you can see that, but we don't really have many mattes. These two shades over here are like proper true mattes. This one has a little bit of sparkle in it. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's a little bit of sparkle in there. This one is quite sparkly. Also it might actually look matte to you, but it is quite sparkly. We have a couple of metallics, quite a few of like glittery shades. It is very beautiful, but at the same time, the fact that we only have two proper mattes makes it a little bit, I don't want to say difficult, but at the same time, we don't really have many options to create a different eye look with those mattes. We can create multiple variations with those like shimmery shades. They are nicely pigmented, really nice quality, but there is only so much we can make with those mattes. So like, you know, the kind of base will be very similar. Let's do some swatches now. So this is our first set, and there we go. So this is Rose Quartz. Then we have Royal. Next one is Haze. And then we have Rose Fire, which is this one over here. Here is Sun Rose. Next up we have Nova, which is this one over here. Look how pretty this one is. Then we have Heavenly. And then we have Element, which is this one. And the last four, so here we have Ashes, which is, okay, this one here. Then we have Dune. Then we have Nocturne. And this last one is Noble. So these are the swatches. As you can see, the pigmentation is amazing. Those like shades are very buttery. Mattes are on the drier side, but they're still quite like nicely pigmented. But the shimmers are like super buttery and soft, and they just look lovely, and there's going to be a lot of fallout. So there you go, all the swatches and the palette itself. There is one shade over here that you might not be able to see properly, but this is like a very nice sparkly shade that's going to look beautiful in your eye corner or on your eyebrow bones. That is actually really pretty too, and the fact that it's not really visible on my hand, that doesn't really mean much. It's still really pretty. Okay, we have that out of the way, so let's try and do some makeup just to let you know, because you asked under my last video, so I just prefer to tell you like straight away. I'll be using these two brushes. These are Spectrum A08 and A12, so one is a little bit like fluffier, and then we have a little bit like a denser one and smaller. And also I'm going to use something like really small for my eye corner and maybe my brow bone, and this is a Luxie Mini Round number 141, just to let you know. So obviously I'm going to try and use as many shades as possible just for you to see how they perform. I'm going to go with this one first as my transition shade. This is not something I would usually use because it's not like a proper matte. It's slightly kind of metallic. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll make it work. From what I can see, it does not really transfer as super shiny on your skin. Then I'm going to use this in my crease, and I'm going to build the color up with these two shades over here with these mattes, Dune and Noble. I think the Noble one, this shade will be just to accentuate my outer corner. Okay, so let's do that bit first. I've just applied those 4 shades. They blend beautifully. They're like super easy to use. The shades are very kind of like complementing each other, so I think it is quite easy to create a look with these shades even for a beginner. And what you get is this dark but muted kind of like very earthy look, which I actually really like. Also, I'm pretty sure you can see the whole mess under my eye now, but I'm just going to clear it out once we finish with the makeup. So let's do shimmers now. I'm going to go with this one over here, which is Rose Fire. I just love it. This is such a beautiful shade. I'm going to apply it on my eyelid from my outer corner to my like just middle of my eyelid, and then I'm just going to put this one over here towards my inner corner. This one has, I don't know if you can see that, but this one actually has a little bit of this kind of like orange shift, so they are going to look nice together. This shade is Nova. So yes, this definitely shifts so beautifully. I'm going to just blend it here slightly so that we have this more cohesive look. Yeah, I really love those shimmers. They're so pretty, and I really love the vibe of this palette. It's so unique, I would say. I mean, it does give me like a massive steampunk vibe for some reason, but I really love it. So now I'm going to do my lower lash line, and for that I'm going to use another shade just so that we can see a little bit more of this palette. I'm going to use this one over here. This is Element. Again, I would usually go with a matte shade or my lower lash line, but we don't really have that much choice here, do we? So I'm going to go with Element. So as you can see, this shade, even though it's a little bit different to the shades I used so far, it actually goes really well with the whole look. I have this feeling that whatever you would like to create with this palette, it actually should go together quite nicely. I think even those shimmers, I was a little bit afraid of that concoction at first, like this green and the orange one, but they do really work nicely together. I'm curious how these 2 shades will work out. I'm pretty sure they will just work out just fine. So I definitely can't wait to try some more color options, but this one, I really like it so far. Okay, so let's finish off this look with this lighter shade over here, which is Heavenly. I'm going to apply it on my brow bone and in my inner eye corner. So as you can see, I didn't blend it out yet, but as you can see, this shade, although you couldn't really see it that much on my hand, it's very visible on my eyelid. It is very kind of sparkly, it's very brightening, it looks really lovely. I'm going to blend it out a little bit because it's like too outstanding here. Okay, so now that I blended it out, it looks much more cohesive, and this is pretty much the finished look as far as the eyeshadows go, right? So let me just finish the other eye off camera now. Let me apply some like other bits that will make me look a little bit more human, like, you know, lashes, eyeliner, things like that, and I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, so I'm back with the finished look. What do you think? I really love what this little palette can do, to be honest. I think it's a beautiful autumnal wintry palette. There are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind before buying it. So first of all, definitely wintry, autumnal. I don't really see myself wearing these shades in spring or summertime. I mean, definitely up to you, but that's just me. This is very kind of cold weather like for me. Another thing is that this is definitely like going out type of palette. I wouldn't describe it as a kind of everyday one, so this is not something I will be reaching for like every single day. So if you're looking for a palette that's a more kind of like multi-use, that might not be the one. It is very beautiful though, and even though I was a little bit concerned at first when I saw that there are only like 2 proper mattes and let's say maybe 2 more like semi mattes, I do feel like you can actually create quite a few nice looks with it. Just playing with those like shimmery shades, you can actually create something that looks a little bit different every single time. So I definitely recommend this palette, but do keep those things I just mentioned in mind when deciding whether you like to buy it or not. So this is everything from me today. Thank you very much for watching. For more beauty related content, check those videos here. I'm going to see you very soon. Take care. Bye.